Hello, everyone. Paris is preparing to welcome a storm named Jungkook. Amidst the hustle and bustle of a city that has witnessed history, revolution, and thousands of the most prestigious fashion shows, Paris is now holding its breath. The city famous for the Eiffel Tower and its classic cobblestone streets is now preparing for something far more monumental. Not for poets, not for nobles, but for a young man from South Korea who has redefined fame, courage, and beauty. His name? Jungkook. It's no secret that Jungkook has been the face of Calvin Klein since 2023. However, what's about to unfold in Paris is not just a photo shoot or an advertising campaign. It's not just about wearing clothes. It's about being at the heart of a global show. Calvin Klein is no longer just showcasing a clothing collection. They're building a stage for someone who has conquered the world, not with a loud voice, but with an undeniable presence. Paris is not an easy city to conquer. The fashion world there has seen icons come and go. But this time, it's not Versace, not Chanel, not the old names dominating the conversation. From Milan to Tokyo, from New York to Paris, all eyes are on one name, Jungkook. No one ever imagined that a young boy who once danced alone in a small practice room would become the center of the world's attention. But that dream is real. From the basement of Big Hit to the billboards of Times Square, and now, the main stage of Calvin Klein in Paris. A journey that not only brings pride to Korea, but also overturns the narrative of the global fashion industry, which has long been so exclusive and biased. One Calvin Klein campaign in 2023 was enough to shift the tide. Photos of Jungkook in denim, unfiltered, without excessive polish, spread across the globe. He wasn't just selling clothes, he was selling emotions. The emptiness and silence under the camera's gaze became his strength. He wasn't selling the brand, he became the brand. Information from insider sources indicates that Jungkook will not just be a VIP guest. He will be the main headline of the Calvin Klein show. The runway is designed with a narrative centered around him. The music is recomposed based on the tone of his voice. The lighting is arranged to follow his steps and body movements. The costumes are custom-made for his body, no duplicates. There are even rumors that Jungkook will sing live in the middle of the fashion show. Imagine a dark room, all the guests holding their breath. A single spotlight searches for the face everyone is longing to see. Then, from the darkness, he emerges. Without words, without an intro, just his voice, just his aura. Jungkook walks the runway, not as a model, but as the hero of this generation. As the news began to leak to the media, the effect was like a global storm. CNN wrote, K-pop meets couture. Jungkook headlines Calvin Klein in Paris. BBC questioned whether this was the future of the fashion industry. Vogue simply posted one photo with the caption, him. And the whole world knew who they meant. Online fashion forums suddenly filled with discussions about the colors, textures, and designs Jungkook might have worn. Even senior designers from Milan and New York mysteriously posted tributes in the form of silhouette sketches labeled JK Inspired. What sets Jungkook apart from just being a guest star is his meaning. He is not just a representation of Asia in a fashion world that has long been too Eurocentric. He is a symbol that masculinity can be soft, that beauty has no specific skin color, that strength can emerge from silence. Jungkook is not a model. He is a movement, a voice for a generation that refuses to live within old boxes. A generation that values honesty over gimmicks, that chooses quality over instant popularity. Will Calvin Klein launch an exclusive JK Edition collection? Is this the beginning of a long-term collaboration? Will Jungkook walk the runway solo, or bring an even bigger surprise? One thing is certain, whatever happens, this will be a historic moment. A moment that will be documented in fashion books, army collections worldwide, and the annals of history. This is not just an event. It is validation that a young man with a dream can truly change the world. And you, as part of ARMY, are its primary witness. But before the spotlight shone and the first step on stage, the world was silent. Not because they didn't know, but because everyone was waiting. Like Paris pausing before a storm. Like the breath that held for a moment before Jungkook's name echoed through the room. The guests, the photographers, even the VIPs, everyone knew this night was going to be different. Not just because Calvin Klein was presenting its latest collection, but because they knew the collection wasn't the star. Jungkook was the story. And when the back door finally opened, when the sound of his footsteps echoed backstage, the entire atmosphere changed. Like Paris welcoming not just a star, but destiny. Jungkook didn't walk fast. He didn't rush. But every step he took seemed to redefine runway history. Without a smile, without an overly posed pose, with just a calm gaze and a confident attitude, he sent a message stronger than 1,000 words. I'm not here to perform. I'm here to change everything. And then, as the world stared at his silhouette, the music began. But not from the speakers, not from the equipment, but his voice. Live. Unrecorded. Unedited. Jungkook sang a haunting, soft ballad, in time with the lights and the movement. The runway transformed into a theater. The guests didn't blink. Some even shed tears. The cameras stopped taking photos and just recorded, as if they knew this isn't the time to take pictures. This is the time to honor history. Calvin Klein breaks tradition. Calvin Klein had never before created a runway with such an intimate narrative. Usually, a fashion show speaks through fabric, color, and detail. But that night, Calvin Klein spoke through emotion, through humanity, through Jungkook. And at the end, as the lights came back up and the sound of applause filled the room, there was a surprise that silenced everyone once again. Calvin Klein announced an exclusive collection, JK Edition, a clothing line inspired, designed, and first worn by Jungkook. The collection will be available in limited quantities, with a portion of the proceeds going to a campaign to educate young people in Asia about the arts. Suddenly, the fashion world, the K-pop world, and even mainstream political media picked up on the story. Not just for the beauty of the design, but for the message that the world is no longer biased. That Asian culture is not just accepted, but made the center. But if you think this is just about Calvin Klein or Paris, you're wrong. This is about all of us. About every army who has ever written hashtags, created fan art, translated lyrics, defended Jungkook when he was criticized, and celebrated him when he smiled. When Jungkook stepped onto that stage, he wasn't just walking as an artist. He was carrying the weight of the love of millions of fans who believed in him before the world even knew him. And that night, that trust paid off. This moment wasn't just a personal triumph. It was proof that with love, with hard work, and with sincerity, we can change the world. Top K-pop will continue to follow every development that comes next. Will Calvin Klein launch more editions with Jungkook? Is this the beginning of a new domination of the global fashion industry by K-pop stars? Leave a comment below, sharing what this moment means to you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because we just witnessed history, and who knows, tomorrow Jungkook will write the next page.